Prince Harry is heartbroken all over again. Now, of course, this is something that he is never going to admit publicly, especially as his marriage to Meghan Markle crumbles. But former close friends of the Duke have told me that Chelsy Davy's decision to have a third child has really emotionally hit home. Now, she shared these beautiful images, and my God, I'm so happy for Chelsy Davy. Like, this is all she wanted. And I think it's delightful that she's comfortable to share the images on Instagram and now does finally feel like she can have a bit of a public profile. But why this has really hit home to Harry is that he had always discussed with Chelsy Davy having a large family. And of course, as soon as he ended up with Meghan Markle, who, yes, was older, and that is understandable that when you are older, the biological clock is ticking, that they decided, and it was apparently a mutual decision, but one that always surprised Harry's close friends, to have just 2 children, which went in total contrast to the big family that Harry had always discussed having, and that Chelsy Davy, who is now very happily married, and there is no suggestion, by the way, that she pines in any way for her life with Harry. I mean, she's totally happy now. But for him, given this marriage, as Tom Bower has been revealing, and betrayal, as I have been revealing for many months, is in such deep trouble. Of course, when you look at the one who got away, and she's living the life that you hope to live one day, in Mystique no less, with a lovely man who treats her very well, of course, that is going to hurt. Now, Angela Levin is Prince Harry's biographer and our royal mastermind. She spent a long time with Harry, writing the authoritative biography just in his final days of meeting Meghan. He went from wanting this big family to all of a sudden saying, oh, no, it would be so irresponsible to have any more than 2 children because of climate change. You know, it was such a weird thing, wasn't it? Like, when you're thinking about your family, why on earth are you going into the climate change debate? And of course, here's Chelsy Davy living the life that her and Harry had long discussed, which was a big family outside of the United Kingdom.
Well, there's 2 things here. One is that if you've got 2 children of your own, you are usually very, very pleased. And if someone's got 3 and you've got 2, it's not a place to be really hard done by, because actually having 2 children is wonderful if you have them. But the second one is what I know from when I was doing his biography is that she went to university, right? And he was cross because it was quite a long way. So he started having affairs with all sorts of other girls. And she got very upset. And he didn't go and see her for a long time. So she went off and left him. Now, that's his fault. 100% his fault. You can't expect that a delightful woman like that, or any woman who's got any sort of sense of herself, that would be fine. That doesn't matter. Let her boyfriend go and have a lot of fun and then come and see me when you feel like it. She kept inviting him, but he was saying they weren't the right sort of guys for him. Well, that might be right. That's university. You don't always have the right friends, but it's his fault. I think he might look back on his life about his fault for a long time. But this is a nonsense, isn't it? He's pretending it's poor me again. It's not a poor me. It was a poor her if it was poor anything.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. I mean, I'm absolutely with you on that, Angela. But I guess it shows you that things aren't good, are they? Because if you're in a happy relationship, you never look back at your exes at all. And look, he's not looking back, in fairness, at Cressida Bonus.
You can do a bit. You can do a bit, but not a lot. I think you can look back and think, if I was older, I would have behaved better, or, things like that. So we'll give him that little bit. But, you're right otherwise.
Yeah, it's interesting. Do you think Chelsy Davy was the love of his life.
Yeah, he loved her a lot. And she really loved him. And they had great fun together. And he liked it because she wasn't worried about the royal family. That wasn't a big deal for her. She just fitted in very easily. And she was fun and a very nice girl, not demanding, not phenomenally rich, where she would want all sorts of diamonds and earrings and necklaces. You know, she was just a very, very nice girl with a very nice family. And he loved the openness with all the animals in Africa, and all that was very pleasing for him. And she was fun. She was good fun.
Yeah, yeah, indeed. I mean, my sense, I covered their relationship very closely actually in my
Ah,
former life in newspapers, and it was very off and on. You know, like one week they'd split up, the next week they'd be together, but there was always a real passion there, and it felt like a very equal relationship emotionally as well. But I do agree with you, it was Harry who mucked it up, and I think we just all look at Chelsea today and think she made the right decision. Because you
yeah.
look at Harry, totally miserable, totally allowing his negative past to take over him, all of these court battles, and just a great sense of sadness, actually, and anger connected to him. And you compare that to those pictures of Chelsy Davy, and she is living the dream.
Yeah.
She is truly living the dream. And I think she does deserve that. Now, Angela, I knew it was going to happen, but of course, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's new PR team are fighting back with propaganda. This is as a result of the publication of, well, the forthcoming publication of Tom Bower's book Betrayal, which of course has been serialized in the Times newspaper over the past week.
As rumors swirl about growing tensions in Harry and Meghan's marriage, a surprising name has resurfaced: Chelsy Davy. The woman many once believed would become Harry's wife is now being linked to a new wave of speculation about the Duke's emotional state. And according to royal commentators, the timing couldn't be more dramatic. Could old memories be reopening old wounds? Or is this simply another chapter in the never-ending royal rumor mill? Let's dive in. For years, Chelsy Davy was considered Prince Harry's great love story. The pair dated on and off for much of Harry's younger years, surviving media scrutiny, royal obligations, and public fascination. Many royal watchers believed Chelsy understood Harry in a way few others could. She knew him long before he became one of the world's most talked-about royals. She was there before the interviews, before the royal exit, and before the controversies that would later define his public image. But despite their strong connection, the relationship ultimately ended. Reports at the time suggested that the intense spotlight surrounding royal life was simply too much. Chelsy reportedly valued her privacy and was reluctant to embrace the relentless attention that came with being a senior royal partner. Harry eventually moved on and met Meghan Markle. Their whirlwind romance led to a royal wedding that captivated millions around the globe. Yet years later, questions continued to follow the couple. Recent media reports and commentary have focused on what some observers describe as increasing distance between Harry and Meghan. Separate appearances, professional changes, and ongoing public scrutiny have fueled endless speculation about the state of their relationship. It's important to note that neither Harry nor Meghan has publicly confirmed any marital crisis. However, the rumors have been impossible to ignore. And that's where Chelsea's name suddenly reappears. According to several royal commentators, renewed public interest in Harry's past relationships reflects a broader conversation about the choices he has made throughout his life. Some observers argue that Harry's life today looks dramatically different from what many imagined a decade ago. Others suggest that comparisons between Meghan and Chelsy are unfair and based more on nostalgia than reality. Still, the fascination continues.
Do you remember that they said some time ago that they would only spend 1 hour
Yeah,
a week
yeah.
on doing their work for charity? So, you know, to do it for 3 or 4 hours, it's a really very difficult and demanding thing. But, you know, it's, if you like something, if you want to help people, then you'd be pleased to do that, you see. He doesn't. He doesn't know what he wants to do, and it makes him unhappy, whatever he's doing. Nothing can actually get through to him to be happy now. He just feels it. It's everything's wrong. and whatever the king does for him and doesn't do, I mean, it's just pointless, because he's got William, and what William ever does and doesn't do, and then he complies with Catherine. It's, he just can't find something good, and that means he needs help, but he doesn't seem to have it, or the people who help him don't actually work properly, or he's choosing the wrong ones. I think that's it. When he gets to a stage where he needs help, because we're all in difficulties at times, and we have to try and get over it. And well, he does just have a problem about loving his mother still, which is very, very nice, but it's not the right way of moving forward and helping yourself.
I mean, Angela, this was very odd to me. Again, it feels like
Yeah.
pro-Prince Harry propaganda, because Diana herself constantly spoke about the fact that she was preparing Harry to be a loyal supporter of William, because she thought William needed support as king, not that she wanted Harry to be king.
Yeah, it's sort of taken out something from a big spot, sort of stew, and it just doesn't has a whole different meaning. I know, because I was told that she was very, very worried about Harry as a boy, because he was very naughty and he was very angry with the world even then, and she felt that she had to really help him and make him feel better. And it was nothing to do with becoming king or not. She took him to psychologists, 2, 3, to discuss, what's wrong with him and how she could help. So you don't do that to think you're going to make them a king, do you? It was just a way of being sweet and nice and say, one day you can be king. It doesn't mean anything. It's a long, long time ago. It doesn't mean anything. And William, who was shy, didn't want to be king. That is true. And he felt in his teenage years it was very unfair to make him be feeling all the time about how he's going to prepare himself to be king. So what he did, he left London. The other royals had unity, had gone to things in London, not gone out. And he wanted to go as far as he could, so he could go to university and not have anybody going anywhere near him. He refused to have a whole place there for himself. He wanted to live with everybody else. He wanted to eat fish and chips in newspaper on the floor, and he didn't want to have anyone clearing up after him or doing anything. He wanted to be a normal person because he didn't want to do that. And then, along comes Catherine. Wonderful. And along comes her parents, and they were kind and they were nice, and he could see that he could have an all normal family, and he felt very relaxed, and he felt very relaxed with her. They did split up, but he just got very nervous. But once he'd got from her the things that he could do, and instead of cutting ribbons and nut, all those sorts of things, he could find what he really liked. And this has got to do with what he's done now. These are the things that he wants to do, weather and people. He doesn't want to do silly little things. The late Queen, his mother, grandmother, used to like to do that, but for him it didn't work out. So he wanted special things, really important, that would make a change. And then he's worked very well through, you see, whereas Harry just grumbles. And Harry just felt everything was not fair for him. I know when he came back from the army, he was offered lots and lots of very good things, and he refused them all because he was sulking, because they brought him home because it was dangerous, and there was mentioned in Australia that Prince Harry was there, and so they actually had to get him out of the place because it would be too dangerous. So there we are. It's a different story. I don't believe for a second that she would want that. She looked after him. Diana looked after him like a child. He was a child, but she had to really nurse him and hold him. And he was a damaged child from the start, partly because he had a very bad family.
This was so tense, but I did find that fascinating. Did you?
Yeah, but what I think is what happened is that Meghan wanted to do it separately from them. So she tried to get photographers and people to come along and do it separately. And William didn't want that. So he stopped it. So they were both absolutely furious. So Meghan said she had to change clothes. So she made them sit and wait for 45 minutes while she changed her clothes. So she could get her own back on that area. And then off they went. So they were furious with each other. But, that's how it was. They were furious. Catherine was furious that she was asked to wait all that time.
It is. Angela Levin, our Royal Mastermind, so great to have you today. Thank you very much.
What makes this story especially intriguing is that Chelsy herself has largely stayed away from the spotlight. Unlike many figures connected to the royal family, she has built a life outside the endless cycle of royal drama. That quiet independence has only increased public curiosity. For some royal fans, Chelsy represents a path not taken. A glimpse into an alternative future that never happened. But whether Harry actually looks back with regret is something nobody truly knows. The reality is that much of the discussion surrounding Harry, Meghan, and Chelsy comes from commentators, insiders, and speculation rather than direct statements from those involved. Yet that hasn't stopped the headlines. As public interest in the Sussexes continues, every new development is examined through the lens of Harry's past. Every career move, every public appearance, and every reported disagreement becomes another piece of a puzzle that outsiders are eager to solve. The result is a constant stream of stories asking the same question. What if things had turned out differently? For now, there is no confirmed evidence that Chelsy Davy is playing any role in Prince Harry's current life beyond being a significant figure from his past. But in the world of royal headlines, old relationships never truly disappear. Whether these stories reflect reality or simply public fascination, one thing is certain: the interest surrounding Prince Harry's personal life remains as intense as ever. What do you think? Is the renewed focus on Chelsy Davy meaningful, or is it just another round of royal speculation? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest royal developments.